very momentum based. If somebody gets a hold of that, they can take off right away. And Aussie and friends with the double sentinel comp on defense are looking really good and poised to start off strong.
Yeah, it's so hard to figure out how this map's going to go. We have the history, right, saying, okay, it was a 16, 14, 30 round overtime. We have the 13-2 on Ascent against FlyQuest for Catface yesterday. But then we have the double sentinel starting out on the defense for Aussie and friends. So it just is back and forth, and like I have like my spidey sense tingling about how this is going to go, but we know how caster curses go, so I'll keep that locked away in the vault because it is the last map, the pistol round. I mean, okay. Catface has won both first pistols. Let's see if AAF can get one on the board.
Mid and Cat push to cover each other just for a moment to see if there's any fight, but this whole mid hold says they can rotate to either side, and they're leaning just outside B to allow the util to do the work first, and then they have the initiator util to break back in. Nice protocol from MEOW here to just make it look clean as they start to push themselves into the site. No problem.
Interesting that they're playing so off-site, playing for this recon, and it's actually the counter spam from Animal to come through to find the first blood. Icy, yes, pinged out by the spy cam, but protected closely in the corner. Will stay alive and continue to fight forward into CT where some pop shots whiff, but Animal is a player we said to keep an eye on from that fly match on Ascent, on the Killjoy. She already has 2 for the round. She already has established advantage, and speaking of advantage, Slicey's ahead of the wall.
That's huge. Still waiting, though, knowing they can use that time into the last second, the last moment to get out and beat pressure. But is it too late? Too little.
One enemy
Lydia,
remaining.
low health. Oh, my God. Just the tip of the hood on the Omen gets taken out there. It's going to be the full defuse. Right-click moves in. The spin. Almost. Marceline had a moment to fire, but back was turned, and Slicey makes it look clean to pull that win in for Aussie and friends.
I know I asked for you guys to win the first pistol, but not to give me a heart attack in the process as well. I mean, I was looking at the timer, I'm like, okay, they're gonna enter the dark cover at the opportune moment, this should still be good. And then the right-click RNG just says,
one enemy remaining.
And unfortunately, yeah, the pistol round will go the way of Aussie and friends. So this is... Are you seeing what I'm saying, Riv? I said when you're 10-3, you can force up stingers, but not the second round on map 3 of elimination for main event 1. What is this?
They're going to try it anyways. Right onto the roof, slides off, but Icy doesn't have the timing to shoot just yet. Oh, the camera tag. There's still vision. There's still knowledge. Finding another one moving into the site with a gate crash just to get out. And wow, as Aussie and friends cause so much chaos to this partial buy of MEOW.
One enemy remaining.
Oh,
the classics are ringing out.
Like, if you did damage, maybe the stingers is warranted. It'll make it a little bit closer the following round. But the fact that we're lined up for a near flawless round, you know, barring any Luna Fox antics here with the light shield stinger. I mean, she has the spike. She has pretty decent chance of getting A control if Lydia doesn't find this ghost shot. Ooh, clear your corner, please, Luna. Oh, okay.
Hello. Oh. That was a beautiful drawing of Lydia on the wall we just saw from a stinger. Aussie and
they're trying to draw a cat. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Just the whiskers.
Just add the cat ears, the whiskers. And now a few weapons here for Aussie and friends for them to roll through the bonus round, which is going to feel pretty normal to them. But there are sheriffs, and these are GC sheriffs. Those are very dangerous. They come at a high price, and they usually return very well in the investment. We'll see if that's what MEOW can do. If they formulate something here with a bit of a cross-map play, maybe they make some noise over on one site and try to play off the ball here.
I like the kind of delayed aggression off the net paranoia here, right? You wait after the 0 point, then you aggress, because you know now that they force stingers up, they have this offline, you can capitalize, find really effective opening kills. And I mean, when you're pinged out by a trap wire, and an outlaw can wallbang the still paper thin walls, find some even deeper pressure, place it in an animal in a 2v5.
That was such a nice retaliation. That as well. So Jazzy actually got shot in the face during that, but still came up with a nice trip kill, like you said. And now, Sin, he's like, I'm in mid, but I'm in a weird spot.
Spike.
Yeah.
Recalling my boss.
It's like animals gonna be like, I'm in a weirder spot.
They don't. Okay.
One enemy remaining.
They were aware they could have been holding across on the spike, but still a major fumble to not even have a player carrying it there while you're defaulting. Insane. Hit some insane shots, but Marceline with the stinger is superior. And right now it's the Sentinel show. I mean, we kind of questioned, okay, Marceline switching from the Duelist over to the Deadlock, but I think after we saw Vanitas earlier, we can put that question out of our mind. And Riv as well. I was joking in the green room saying this is, I think, their best agent, like, to me, objectively, and then apparently statistically as well. So they're also coming alive right now. Had a really impactful double kill to shut down the previous second round. And now, I mean, you've had such a momentous turnaround because of that fumble the second round Stinger Force that you can't even afford the Operator. 4th round for the defense.
Yeah, Jazzy feels so comfortable. And you're talking about Riv, just the in and out of the camera plays, using like battle cam while they're fighting, and she's darting people
So
just
fluid.
to get back for the quick fight for herself. Like alley-oop, layup for herself, slam dunk, well, however you say it. Riv's got it on Cypher. So Spike's down for this as they're doing the exploratory mission a little bit, but they are losing members, which is not what they were.
Larry Rock was one with the no command as well.
Here.
So no real concise execution yet. They look a little lost on these kind of defaulted approaches since they aren't winning any of these engagements. And I mean, again, if those players fall, you still have 1v1 spread out across the map. Icy was trying to explore mid, can still be stared down the sidelines of Jazzy with that Operator. You do have some regroup action finally out of Sin here. Maybe too early. There it is.
No surprises.
Shoulder shot. Bringing one in. They know that Operator is alive and well right now after being an outlaw in the previous round. But Animal starts to clean up just a little bit. Opens up the map. Can they dodge the op? No, the wide swing gets punished there.
Oh, and the clone bait for the 4K. Robbed away from the ace, but I think this is the scariest thing. We've kept the secret weapon in the dark, right? We saw the Marceline Operator. Well,
yeah.
Get ready for the Jazzykins off. And again, this goes back to the flexibility she's built from playing in collegiate, from playing, white, complexity, now back as a free agent. Right? This series alone, we've seen that flexibility now ending out on the Yoru. Up 4-0 right now on Ascent. I mean, they already talked about how difficult a double Sentinel is. Now you had an op into the mix and ults like the Annihilation. How do you get past this? No command, maybe? It's an eco. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
You get a few kills, yeah. I mean, you get a few here. They're just going to wait it out. The spike down strategy continues to play here as they're doing a lot of homework in these rounds. Little data analysis. So, like, what can we find out? Can we use this? Do we consistently see X here? And what util is being used? They should be able to actually get up and hear one of those sensors as they get through here. They aren't going to choose the path. They're just going to clear wide since they haven't really had any of this space. It goes to show how slow they're moving. But they're just clearing the main area so they can get up and the pace per beat. Ouch.
It just feels like, you mentioned, data collection's great, but it feels like they've been collecting it for too long, right? You're looking for probably 5-0. And you're going to have to have a near perfect rest of the half out of that data collection. And Luke rounds or concrete plays like this, where 3 players are netted and the spray of the smoke is good. Or the Spike cam antics again from Riv should deliver. I mean, there's 35 seconds left. Spike is left high and dry. And it's just
30 seconds left.
Decide.
1 enemy remaining.
3 down.
Oh my gosh. And the cam's up at B. We see it actually being activated, but that's where Riv is, at A. So an initial sight of the round, they might think the Cypher util's A. And it's I mean, it doesn't play in anything here, but you can see how Aussie and friends are kind of switching it up while still using the same bit of util setup.
That's the anti-KO measure.
Yeah, exactly.
They wouldn't put it past MEOW to utilize that on an eco. But again, I think my difficulty here is we look back to Pearl, right? What worked for them to get that, like, really dynamic lead? It was just, like, 5 strong running it down, right? Like, to put it simply. And I honestly really just want to see that all engagement out of them here. Because right now we're not really seeing any shock darts to destroy the Cypher trips. We're not really seeing that for the sensors. We're not seeing really, like, a pop flash setup for Icy to counter, maybe the Paranoia net combo over towards A. We're seeing nothing to break down, like, data collection that we can, if we've seen it, they've seen it, and they've experienced it. And that's what I'm hoping to see. Look, there's 5 over towards B. Maybe this is like a flash and dash into mid, which I'm still okay with, overwhelm the Operator. But I'm not sure if the knife meant to go there, so no command, patch it up. Just do something to break the sightline, please. There it is. Sideline broken.
Just in between the players. They're going to push Jazzy off that line and finally get towards mid. They have enough to clear for the trips if they were here, but now it's just going to be based on the opening shots. Smokes are there to cover, but do they have the angle to enter the site? Oh, that ping.
Ooh. Oh no. The trap wire connects the net, follows it up as well, so it's difficult to get the trade. He never broke the trip, and there was such a stack of players here that one falls and someone else is there to punish. So again, this anti-KO setup works for the time being, but there are some loose ends that are going to be tied up, such as, I mean, Slicey, who just got tied into a neat bow. Luna was on the escape, right, to try and capitalize off that space that was gained, but little cat's out of the bag at this point. 28 HP, making a mad dash towards that A site. We'll be able to get the plant down, but feels like that's the least of her worries. And again, a 1v2 with 28 HP, and you're looking at a potential 6. Oh.
Closed door, go through. Closed door, go through.
Ooh.
Might have dagger here in a moment.
10 seconds.
Gonna play close up for the first shot and then maybe back up through window. It's gonna have to be perfect.
I'll handle this.
Oh, the dimensional drift only adds wrinkles in this plan. You see Slandy as well, aware that this could be a possibility. They don't even need both players while Jazzy's off drift. And it's enough for Slandy just to get the job done. Hand that ult or release the half off to Jazzy. They'll decide where they want these to go. They're actually gonna go, wait, get the operator back. Why not?
Yeah. The mindset, or not mindset, the thought process for Luna and Slandy in that was awesome. Both thinking they could get around and watch the flank, recover the flank kind of thing. When you read into somebody, it's just that Slandy had the upper hand on the shot. Really well played there to dodge out on the dimensional drift. A site take too. Slandy was in the back of B to start that one off, and they couldn't even figure out where that dart came from that pinged 4 of them as they were trying to get into the site. It's just all of Aussie and friends hiding until they had to pop out. And really just surprising Catfish.
Animal gets Marsley and they're like, okay, we should be good for the B side. Nope, there's the stack.
Standing ahead.
And, I mean, look, things are only getting worse. Now there's an Odin spraying down tiles. Narrowly avoiding it. And here's the reclear off of Jazzy, who's actually relinquished the operator to Lydia. Nice punishment off of it here. So, yeah, change things and are punished for it a little bit for the time being. Lydia, great attempts with the operator in hand, but you got some big shoes to fill for the moment.
Yeah. It's a good distraction. Ooh. Plays the extra stutter a step and takes down Lydia with the outlaw. Should be dead to rights in one of those bullets.
That was off, too. No. Somehow they found their way to the site.
For some reason, I heard an outlaw. Holy moly, never mind. Should be totally dead to rights.
Yeah, Jazzy didn't even have the off that round. She was pushing mid while Lydia sported at the one that was collected. The cross-map endeavor from Slandy. But speaking of cross-map endeavors, the player you least expect to be lurking over towards mid in the first plant, Icy, picks up a kill over tree control. And finally, it feels like things are coming together in a little bit of roundabout way, very defaulted approach. They pick off one here, maybe punishing the ego of being 6-0 up from Aussie and friends, and just like that, they put a stop to the mad dash of rounds for the time being.
It's necessary, at least to pump the brakes just a little bit. I mean, a timeout wasn't needed just yet. They do have control over this for the moment, but we'll see where the Odin starts to go. We'll see what this produces for them. We're actually Odin v Odin now with the operator still there, so big spenders on the side of Aussie and friends as they have actually had the economy here for the past few rounds to even do this. So they're happy. Got trapped back in mid as their setup goes back towards the B side for Aussie and friends here. So Catface is choosing correctly if they run with the spike and pick it up early.
Suppressed.
I mean, they have the ult again for a more stark engagement. They're still just trying to like capitalize off the mistakes from Aussie and friends. And boy, oh boy, may they be making one here. Finally, a jump peeker survives. Animal gets safe passage for the time being. And so, again, you can try to peek up, or like I should say, you can try to piece off some of these players. You can jump on mistakes, but when you're making mistakes in your own right, that sort of approach isn't going to work every round like it did the previous round. And all in all, yeah, now you have to pick up the pieces, the numbers disadvantage, and Animal's trying to win that engagement with 5 HP.
Oh, they'll peek almost. All right, clean by Slicey. Still actually taking multiple fights, knowing whenever you see somebody jumping over a box, it is rare that they are doing that alone. So really smart by Slicey to be looking for that secondary person that covers the person jumping. Get that quick kill. That's my fault. Cast a curse.
Spike down A.
Oh,
I got 30
okay,
seconds
curse
left.
is not final until the final player falls. And that final player is Icy. Full shield, Blade Storm. Jazzy with an operator as well. Not quite sure if she'll relinquish it like she did in the previous 1v2. This would be a good way to get that confidence flowing again for the debuting duelist. The first main event, hinging on a
One enemy remaining.
First is good. I don't expect a second though. Tailwind active.
Oh, so close.
Oh.
Oh,
You called it before it happened,
Icy
Riv.
out.
What? Calling so close on the 1v2 clutch. Fortunately,
Gun
Aussie and
here.
friends find their seventh.
Gun
Then
here.
Catface,
Enemies close.
they took a timeout, right? Or am I misremembering and delirious after 3 maps?
I need this.
Did they?
Did they? Why haven't
I
they?
didn't think they did on this one.
Then, yeah, so then why haven't they?
Okay, I like that.
Enemy remaining.
Maybe, yeah, just to be able to focus and get a different protocol going on what the real round, by the way, what is going on is, I think, is necessary, even just to reset and like remind everybody what they're supposed to be doing, who they're supposed to be covering, kind of stuff.
Oh,
But
wow.
here, Icy is trying to make solo plays. Nobody can even approach that from their own team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they're finally going for a start to execution, but this round is difficult because there's 4 ults on mine for Aussie and friends.
Yeah.
One being Annihilation, one being Hunter's Fury. Things designed to flush out this exact spike plant
Spike
situation.
planted.
They're actually going to opt the lockdown to try and
Okay.
deny that sort of retake pressure, which is nice. We'll delay the timer, but this is what I'm waiting for after that.
That's the strategy sometimes. You know, there's tier 1 teams that have that duelist to kind of go in, do as much as they can, even if it's not a kill, it's enough for the site. Null command goes down, and Animal is in position to wreak havoc, but is not sat down immediately as the kills come across the board. It's going to be the 2v3 as MEOW tries to pick up the pieces, as Sin is the last one alive now.
Hunter's Fury comes out. They are pulling out all of the stops, and Riv is
One
just sticking it
enemy
all the way through the Cypher cage, and you're out of bullets, you're out of options, and you are out of luck. Riv gets the stick to defuse, and the round goes the way of Aussie and friends. Yet again, they utilize 3 ultimates, and we're not able to get that round across the finish line. And honestly, they did Aussie and friends a favor. I was like, okay, you have all these tools in the toolbox, but it's locked and you left the key at home because of that null command. But now they have them to set themselves up for the last 3 rounds of the half.
Putting on a clinic here after the first 2 maps, and be it resilience, be it, you know,
Get out of my way.
The stamina and endurance to play through this. That double senti comp team played so well on defense, and we're seeing MEOW have to rush it, have to push it to its limits here, just to break that shield you see, that defensive side of Aussie and friends. So they get through, but it's going to be the 5v5 retake, and you mentioned those ults. This could get crazy.
Nothing to deny the plant either. You saw the fake out just in case of the Hunter's Fury. Icy was supposed to be at the crux of this round with the Blade Storm. Was alive, could fight forward, but unfortunately the early ping means Planty could finish it off with a classic. And now again, it's so difficult because you have these aggressive positions. You had Spicy Heaven, but the neural theft is all they need to guide the hand towards victory.
Slandy gets one with the Hunter's Fury
Last
coming
player
through as
standing.
they start to enter from that doorway. The smoke's going to clear. We got Cindy the turret peeking first. Oh my god, Animal, can she do it again? And it's going to be Riv that steps up to get the kill. The Cypher just too strong. The reveal from the ultimate this round, just identifying where everybody was. It wasn't a second guess, and Riv doesn't need a second shot.
We cannot understate the importance of that neural theft, right? Even
That's
though
crazy.
Icy fell early, you had Slicey on a nice off-angle heaven. You had, some players regrouping for that post plant. It literally guided the hand perfectly for that Annihilation to to surefire find a kill. Take off, you know, Sin, who's been really good at some of those shock darts, just eating away at the HP to give you that extra edge in some of these, you know, head-to-head engagements. But 9-1 here. Now is looking at worse than a potential 9-3 half for the first map, and they are just looking a little defeated. This is the third round in a row they've just taken the dive and day.
Still no timeout to come through. They are just trying to force into the site. Power in numbers, honestly, just wartime effort to just go through and say, we have more in this moment, and we'll get through it.
Do they have more? 3v3?
Oh, not anymore.
Yeah, now numbers disadvantage. Riv is on line. Confidence reinstilled. Sid, several the threat is left alive, but again, it's Riv who trumps all and will be the one to deliver double digits to Aussie and friends on a silver platter in the first half.
That is wild from Aussie and friends right now. They are happy to kind of break out of sight when they say, okay, our first shot missed. We'll just go to that really reliant retake right now that is not failing. Their post plants are insane. Look at that. What is 5 in a row? They have successful post plants in the last rounds. So it's 4 in a row after the fifth.
Yeah.
But for 7, they lost. However, they just don't have an answer on the side of MEOW for what's happening after the spike goes down. They need to find more kills. They need to pressure mid more. They need to temper the way they're hitting the site, I think, because now they realize it didn't work, and find a way to dwindle the numbers of Aussie and friends before they get there.
Yeah, they went from Goldilocks like way too cold to way too hot, right? They were way too slow, hoping kills would come to them. Where you saw those rounds, they weren't even getting the spike planted, and we're all getting demolished. To now, like way too hot, coming and getting the plant down, but not being prepared for that post, like you mentioned. So find that happy medium, and that's where a timeout would have come in. But it's already the end of the half. We get to have that moment to talk on the side swap, because for the time being, we see a little bit more complex of a hit. But again, Animal on these lurks has just not been able to find that impact that she's looking for. And now that your A split's been demolished, you're trying to get a backdoor option to be off from the shadows, but Slandy so aware that you bait Jazzy, but it might be worth a sacrifice for the cause.
Confirmed.
Oh my gosh. Frozen peas across the map. Marceline takes down Sin. Yeah. Riv trades a few here. Does not look like Luna Fox is going for this world. And that is the judge. Coming through, laying down the verdict, 11-1 here for Aussie and friends. Friendship is taking over incredibly hard, and that's one of the first kill rounds we see come back through to end that. This is going to be an imperative pistol round if MEOW wants to produce any results here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, we were hoping for a pistol win when it was 9-3. If it's 11-1, like, there is no chance there. We saw how a second round Stinger Force went for this team. It wasn't pretty. It was, wasn't it flawless? I want to say it was a flawless, or it was near flawless. They lost one player max. And at this point, yep, you got to win this pistol and start there. And I am hopeful. I'm riding off, okay, it's a double Senti Copium. We've seen a lot of comebacks once the side swaps. We saw one earlier today attempted. So let's see it again. We talked about the resiliency. 11-2 is 11-1. Let's see it. Win this round. Make that comeback again. Just like it did against FlyQuest to stay alive in lowers round 1. You gotta do it here again in 2.
Oh, there's still a good trade, though, after getting smacked with a shock dart. Riv and Slandy move into the site. A few kills happier. And Riv's gonna try to continue to pressure this. Jazzy already looking for the lurk.
Last player standing. Last player standing.
I mean, they are playing like this round matters, but come down to the 1v1. We talked about the namesake, Luna Fox for Kim. Catface Val. Jazzy's been in these situations before. Just playing down the clock, playing the mind games of the Yoru. No utility left, so the suppress doesn't really matter. Oh, scale up. The read and the pistol. The final straw. Maybe in his elaborate plan to continue the lower bracket run as they reach map and a series point.
That was so well played by both players. You saw Jazzy consider, wait, if I walk out of this, they'll know I changed sides. But even the cut of that angle, Luna was like, hey, I got to check my right still. So beautifully thought out by both players. The shots as well. Coming in from Jazzy to win the round and make it 12-1 here. Aussie and friends looking to push themselves on in the lower bracket for what could be an incredible run with one more round to take down MEOW. They set up pretty patiently on this round 14, allowing MEOW to use a lot of that 0-point util from KO, and then they'll make their move.
So 0 point, I think, spots out Jazzy. Dark gets Rift. You know, there's 2 tiles right now. Duelist and Lurk or one of the Sentinels. I haven't spotted Marceline, so now the drone's coming out into tree. Honestly, they've done a really good job with split pressure, so you don't quite know where they're going until they commit. And Clone just adding even more confusion to that draw. So when you're, again, in an eco and you want to rotate really early, you want to stack towards the site, this is the worst case scenario. And you get eager, anxious to get that information in some fashion.
They're looking. Another 0 point thrown out with a bit of callback there. It's going to be the B hit. Rotations are actually coming in quite slow from MEOW. They want to be sure. They want it to happen just right, but it's still going to be Aussie and friends grabbing the final few kills that they need, dropping into the site. Another member of MEOW drops.
Oh, and it's the 2v5 to decide the match. Make it the 1v5. Slicey would have to get the ace clutch with the GC Sheriff. The players are all low. This is some body shots. And this becomes feasible. There's a stinger as well, but draws some HP, draws some blood, and that's enough to leave you drained. 13-1. 2-1. Aussie and friends advance in their lower bracket journey as the victors for this battle. Best of 3. Third time, not the charm this time, for that cat-faced Val. They've run out of their 9 lives in main event 1.